Hello and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Joris and today I am here with the update for my YUH-portfolio for May of 2025. And as you can see, it's going to go about dividends because I received a lot of dividends for my YUH-portfolio this month. I still need to receive one dividend this month from Swatch, but it's going to take until the end of this month. So it's not on time for this video. And right now on my YUH-portfolio I have 2,441.04 Swiss francs. So that's really nice, and that's mainly due to the fact that I keep depositing 200 Swiss francs every month when my wage hits my account. So I immediately transfer 200 Swiss francs to my YUH-account, and that's the only thing that I can control. So I want to be consistent and just keep transferring 200 Swiss francs every month and then immediately invest it into the stock market. And all the rest that happens around the world is of minor importance actually. The main thing is staying consistent with putting in the money and investing it. And I want to keep buying good companies, so I selected 20 companies that I'm following in that for my YUH-portfolio. And I want to buy those at a good PE valuation. So more about that later in my quadrants that I'm going to go over briefly. And unfortunately, Trump tweeted later on the 23rd on Friday, a little bit after 2-3 hours that I bought already the shares that I bought for this month. He tweeted, I shouldn't say tweeted, but I really like the word tweeted, and about the 50% tariffs that is going to instate for European stocks or European goods coming into the USA. And yeah, that was really not a good timing from his part, but that's just the way it is, and we have to live with that. And I still believe that I bought my shares at a good price, so that's the main important thing. And as already said, we received 8 dividends this month so far, so still want to come from Swatch. And with that, all those dividends that we received and the 200 Swiss francs and the balance that we had left over from the previous time, in total I had 247.37 Swiss francs to my disposal and 31.57 euros, meaning in total 276.91 Swiss francs available. So all those euros were totally from dividends that I received. Nothing came from Swiss francs converted into euros or depositing euros into my account. It was all due to dividends coming in. And the Swiss francs also went up a bit with dividends coming in, but more about that later on. So let's look at the quadrant overview of how I looked on of how everything looked on Thursday evening, because then that is when I decide which stocks I'm going to buy. And I always start with the buyable quadrant, and Volkswagen and DHL moved in to this part. And as you can see, DHL is in the green and Shell as well. So I decided to pick up DHL shares and Shell shares. And Volkswagen moved up because Holcim and Logitech moved out of the buyable sector. So ENG went from the buyable but needs to drop to the buyable but category because it's a bank. So that's also a bit annoying. The thing is, I would like to buy extra shares of ENG, but it's just too expensive right now to my taste because it's a bank, so it's always a bit sensitive for Belgian people with Fortis and also for Swiss people with Credit Suisse. So I want to be really careful when I pick up bank shares, and that's why I put a P of 8 there. A lot of other people still believe that ENG is really cheap right now, and I can't blame them for that. But the thing is, PSP, Swiss Re, Siemens and Accor are the 4 shares that are actually in the buyable range, but I wasn't able to buy just yet. Accor and Siemens were really close last month, but close, so close, but no cigar. That's what they say. And of the non-buyable category, I have Swatch in my portfolio, and I still like Swatch a lot. But as long as it's staying here, I'm not going to buy more. Although it's actually quite cheap right now, I'm I'm not going to buy it until I see a change in perception about Swatch. And for the rest, yeah, Infineon, Eni, Enel, and Bayer, those stocks are already a long time in this category, so they aren't just to my taste right now. And Infineon, for sure, it's way too expensive. It's double of my threshold, my PE threshold. So that would mean that if I owned it, I would have sold it by now. So I bought 4 shares of Shell for a price of 29.245 euros, and I'm really happy that I could still buy 4 shares of Shell. The previous video I bought my first shares of Shell, and then I said I hope that it remains low so that I can buy extra next month, and that's exactly what I did. Okay, the previous time it was for a price of 28.83 euros, and in the meantime it went ex-dividend as well. So for those 4 shares that I picked up last month, I'm going to receive the first dividend soon in June. But for the ones that I picked up on Friday, unfortunately, I'm not going to receive the dividend in June because it was already ex-dividend. And yeah, it's a pity, but on the other hand, it's a quarterly paying company, and you know that I'm a big supporter of companies that pay quarterly dividends. I wish that a lot more companies paid out quarterly dividends, but unfortunately here in Europe they don't often do that. Shell, of course, is based in the UK and more or less the Netherlands as well. So this is the Netherlands stock from Amsterdam, and yeah, they pay quarterly dividends. So I really like the fact that I could pick up 4 extra shares of Shell. And then I also bought 4 extra shares of DHL, and for a price of 38.76 euros. So again, it was more expensive than the previous time. So I bought it 3 months ago. In the update number 6, you can find it when I bought the first shares of DHL, and I still believe that it's a gamble because the cash flow is showing a downwards trend, and that's not good at all. But I still like DHL a lot. I work with them myself as well. So the previous time I bought them at 37 euros a piece. So now they are way more expensive, but still below the PE threshold that I set of 14. So in this way, I believe that I'm doing the right things. When you believe in a company and when you like a company and they are still cheaply priced, you should pick up extra shares when you have the possibility. And that's exactly what I did. And for my work, I work with DHL myself as well, and they always do a good job, and they have an excellent price quality ratio compared to their competitors, and that's what I want to see. So as long as that is what I'm seeing in in my working field, I will keep DHL in my portfolio. When I see it turning around, when other companies like FedEx or yeah, you have UPS are doing a better job, I will tell it here on my channel and I will sell DHL for sure. But for now, I'm really happy with owning 4 extra shares of DHL. And look at the price, 38.76 euros. That's really important. The other one, it was 29.245 euros. So that's because now you have limit orders in YUH. So you announced that the limit orders were coming in the beginning of May or the end of April already. I didn't post it on my YouTube channel because yeah, I couldn't take a screenshot. It's unbelievable. I can screenshot everything, but with the pop-up of the announcement that there were going to come limit orders and I wanted to take a screenshot, it didn't allow me to do it because they said it's private content and you can't take a picture of that. So, and they did introduce limit orders, and I used this immediately. So the previous time, sometimes I was a bit, yeah, how do you say? Um, Now I was at home on Friday, but when it's on Tuesday or Wednesday, I put in my orders the day before, and then you are totally surrendered by the market. When it opens and it opens high, you buy it at a higher price when you don't have a limit. So now I put in the limit order, and I put the limit at 38.77. Okay, it was not at the day before, it was at 9.47, and the price then was 38.80, so I put it in 3 cents cheaper. And for Shell, I took a screenshot of putting in the limit order itself. With DHL, I forgot and I couldn't return it because it was immediately executed. So there, the limit price, I set it to 29.25, and the price at that time was 29.275. And as you know from the previous slides, I bought DHL at 38.76 and I bought Shell at 29.245. So below even my limit order. So I was really happy about that. And as such, on the 23rd of May, I deposited 200 Swiss francs. And in total now, I have deposited 2,300 Swiss francs on my YUH-account. And on total, now on my YUH-portfolio, I have 2,441.04 Swiss francs. And I couldn't take a whole screenshot. So here you don't see the price of Swiss francs for the 118.16 euros, but I took another screenshot and just put it here. So for paying the 118.16 euros for paying the Shell order, I had to convert 111.69 Swiss francs to so many euros. And for DHL, I used all the dividends I received, so 31 and a bit, and then the rest was converted from Swiss francs as well. And in cash, I had 17.80 left over in my pay account on on my balance. So 17.80 Swiss francs is still on my account, but yeah, I couldn't pay one extra shares with that because you always have 10% of a reserve when you do an order on the YUH-portfolio, so you have to take that into account all the time when you put in an order in the YUH app. And this is the overview of my investments that are worth 2,423.24 Swiss francs. Of course, this includes also the Swiss coins. So it's 109.34 Swiss francs up. That's what it says. And if you look at all these numbers, you see that BASF is down 12.18%. Swatch Group is down 15.81%. So those two are the biggest gambles in my YUH-portfolio. Volkswagen and Shell, they are also in the red, but just slightly Shell, so I'm not worried about that at all. Volkswagen, as you know, I still want to pick up extra shares of Volkswagen, so when this one remains low, I said, I think already 9 months ago, when I bought Volkswagen, that when it went down 20%, I would pick up some extra shares, but now I'm not that picky anymore. I believe they are on the right way. So when they are still in the red next month, I believe I'm going to pick up some extra shares of Volkswagen. And yeah, Swiss coins. Now I have 330 Swiss coins because I did 2 trades, so 2 times 5 Swiss coins were added to my portfolio. You can see here the price per unit of a Swiss coin. It's 0.01880417, but it didn't pick that number for calculating the value of my Swiss coin. It still calculates with the previous price because it just went up on Friday, and that's a bit of a mistake in the YUH app, that on the day itself when something changes it's not depicted in the graph. So it's this one, it moved up but it didn't pick up the value of the Swiss coin for calculating it. And with the overview of how the investments are looking, it doesn't add the new investments to the graph immediately. So more on that in a few seconds. So now I have 6.13 Swiss francs in Swiss coin. It's a little bit more when you take this one into account, but it's 6.13. And this is the roundup for the month. So here you can see the problem. My investments are worth 2,423.24 Swiss francs. But when you look at the graph in the YUH app, it still depicts the value of the day before, so 2,210.57 Swiss francs. And the total on the YUH-portfolio is 2,441.04 Swiss francs. The cash 17.80, and invested so far I have invested 2,329.65 Swiss francs. So that's with costs and everything included. So my investments are worth 2,423.24 Swiss francs, and the stocks are then 2,417.11, as you can see from GetQueen. More on GetQueen later on, but here you can see that really is way closer, the app. Okay, it's calculating all the time with bid and ask values of the stocks. So you have a little deviation here with behind the dot, but that's just a minor deviation. And to get this view, I will explain this in a minute. So you can see when the green line is above this dotted line, it is green. When it's below here, it would turn red when I cross the line here. But as long as it's above, you are making a profit compared to what you invested. So the dotted line is the amount that you invested. And the crypto part of my portfolio is worth 6.13 Swiss francs. So my current profit or loss on my stocks is a profit of 87.46 Swiss francs. So 3.75% I'm in the plus. And I'm really happy about that. So let's go to GetQueen. Here you can see my portfolio, my YUH-portfolio, all the other portfolios that I used for making other videos on my YouTube channel. They are still there, of course, as well. And to get the view, you have to click the performance. So you have the portfolio value then, and then you can see it moving up, and you can see the invested capital compared to the portfolio value. And then you can click max, or you can click year to date, and then you have the view what you want and what you want. And we can also go and look at our positions. So here you can also see that we are in the red for 4 positions, even now 5. So which one is actually now also in the red? Okay, it's DHL is now also in the red. So that's just because it calculates with bid and ask values, and probably tomorrow DHL is going to drop a bit, and then I'm in the red as well. but that's okay. Then you can see the dividends, and for 2020 to look at 2025, you have to click it. And then you see that for this year, I'm about to receive 77.65 Swiss francs in total. And for this month, I still need to receive Swatch. So that's going to be the 30th of May, so the last day. And then in June, I'm going to receive my dividend for Shell of my 4 stocks that I already owned at the end of April. And then in September, I'm going to receive a dividend for Logitech and for Shell. And then 3 months later, it's Shell again, as it's a quarterly paying dividend company. So I really like what GetQueen is doing. You don't have to pay to receive all these things. So you see, I'm not paying anything. I'm not sponsored by them at all. I didn't receive premium from them, and I don't want that as well. I like what I see here. I see what needs to come in September. I see what's going to come in December. So I'm really happy about that. And these are the dividends that I received. So ENG, 5 shares we own, and it paid out 0.71 euros a piece. So in total, 3.55 euros. You have a withholding tax of 15%. So I got 3.02 euros on my account. I still need to pay income tax on that here in Switzerland. So I need to declare that, but that's no problem. Then BKW, this one paid out 3.7 Swiss francs per share, and I own 2 shares, so I had 7.40 in total, minus the 35% of withholding tax. So I still received 4.81 Swiss francs in my account. I have to declare that as well in my tax declaration, and then I'm going to receive some money back from the 2.59 that I paid now, because my my income tax isn't 35% at all, so I'm definitely going to receive some money back there. Then we got a dividend from AXA for our 4 shares, so 2.15 euros per share. And there is a withholding tax for France of 25%, so not 15 but 25%. But here you can see there is a recoverable tax of 12.2% for natural persons only. And I'm a natural person. I have a YouTube channel, but that doesn't mean that I'm not a natural person. And the crazy thing is that the exchange rate is depicted here, euro to Swiss francs, but here you also have euro 1.05 is equal to 0.98 Swiss francs. I really think that's a crazy thing, but okay, that's probably because you need it to recover the tax. And I'm definitely going to search and look for it to recover it, because it's not a lot of money, 1.7, 1.07 euros, but I want to receive it back. That's my principle, and I hope one day everything is unified in Europe, on the European continent. I know it's utopian, but I'm going to repeat it over and over again, so someday it might happen. Then we have DHL, so withholding tax of 26.375 from Germany. So it's always another withholding tax. It's really annoying, but I can recoup half of it as well. So I'm definitely going to search out how to do that as well. And so I received 4.09 euros on my account, and I had to pay 1.46 in withholding tax, unfortunately, for my 3 shares of DHL. Then BASF paid out 2.25 euros for 4 shares, so in total 9 euros received, but once again, for Germany, 26.375% of withholding tax. I can recoup half of it, so I'm definitely going to do that. And then AB InBev from Belgium, withholding tax of 30%. You gotta love Belgium. I'm from Belgium myself, and it's the most expensive country in the whole of Europe, I believe. So something to be proud of. Not, but yeah, three dividends I received of €1 apiece, so €3 in total, but I needed to pay 90 cents, so I still received €2.10 from AB InBev. And then Volkswagen paid out €6.3 per share. I own 2 shares, so with the withholding tax of Germany withhold, I still received €9.28 in total. And remember, I'm going to recoup half of it, or going to try to recoup half of it, but I still need to pay on all those euro dividends. I still need to pay withholding tax here in Switzerland as well. And then Holcim, that one is of course a special one because it's a capital gain. It's not a true dividend, and that's why I don't need to pay withholding tax. For Holcim, I think it's still valid for 2 or 3 more years that they are going to pay out their dividend as a capital gain. You have the same for Avolta, I believe. Also Sunrise, the new telecommunication stock here in Switzerland, has an exception for 5 years for not needing to pay withholding tax on the dividend. So you have some shares, I believe 5, 6 or 7 shares on the Swiss stock market, which don't need to pay withholding tax on their dividends that they are paying out. So Holcim is one of them, and soon it's going to be split in Holcim and Emrise. And you saw the dividend that Getquin is predicting for the whole of 2025. I'm of course always projecting the next 12 months. So this is what my stock portfolio is going to bring in next year if I still own the same amount of shares, and that's going to be 89.11 Swiss francs. So already more than the 77.26 Swiss francs, or what was it on Getquin? I can quickly go and check it. 77.65. So if you look at it that way, I'm still continuing to grow my dividends every month, but for the total of 2025, not much is going to change. Maybe I pick up some extra Logitech shares, but it climbed up considerably again, so it's above my PE threshold again. So that's not that likely, and I hope that it doesn't come down once again. When it does, I want to pick up some extra shares for sure. But Nestle is also too expensive. Holcim is too expensive. Swatch isn't something that I'm considering to buy right now. BKW, that can be one that I'm going to pick up some extra shares of in the continuation of this year, but it's not going to pay out a dividend anymore this year. The only one that's still going to pay out is Shell and Logitech, and with 8 shares, I'm really happy with Shell, so I'm going to put my focus elsewhere. And the total net dividend received on my YUH-account so far is €32.26 and 16.96 Swiss francs. And my current dividend yield is 3.69%, and my yield on cost is 3.82%. So I'm really happy about that. Also for Shell, I corrected my mistake from last month where I didn't adjust my quarterly dividends to the new value that they increased it to. So I adjusted that. So that's why all those numbers now are in green. But that's my overview for this month. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like this kind of content, definitely hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. That helps out the channel enormously. And with that being said, thank you for watching to this one, and see you on the next one on my YouTube channel. Bye.